here the day has finally come to actually start looking for an Argentavis and tame it, right? So I'm level 60 something right now, so it's only natural that you want to upgrade your flying, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna travel using my ferry, my PT, towards an area where I know for a fact that there's a great spawning point for Argentavises each time in each playthrough that I've done on Ark Mobile so far in these past few years. And obviously I did find one, a level 95 female, pretty close to what I needed. It would have been good to be above level 100 because we are running a max level of 150 for all creatures on this build. However, couldn't find anything bigger than this. So we had some crap luck in the past couple of days on this build, on this playthrough, especially with the baryonyx, as I said in the last vid. And now with the Argentavis, I couldn't find anything bigger than level 95. Actually, I did find one that was bigger, was 105, but was on the Carno Island, and I literally didn't want to go and tame anything there. Also, my raft, although I could have modified it a little bit to make it a Argentavis trap, I said no, let's try it and get this one here. So now I'm trying to set the classical trap for Argentavises using 2 stone dino gates. Actually, it's 3 stone dino gates. They need to be in a straight line. Mind the gaps between them, and obviously I have to kill all the threats, all the bugs, all the carnivorous animals that live here to actually be able to tame safely the Argentavis in this place. So I really don't want to kite it anywhere else. This is a good spot. It's a plain field where I can construct stuff, but as you have it in Ark Mobile, I couldn't actually place this third doorway properly, so I created a gap in between the second and the third, and obviously we created a gap that the Argentavis can pass through, so you really need to be careful when you are setting the gateways, okay? So I'm gonna try first of all to get the Argentavis. Maybe I can trap it in between the 2 gates, but unfortunately you will see that I'm unsuccessful. First of all, this Argentavis really took its damn time to kite properly towards the trap. I had to try several times to get it where I wanted it to be. Obviously the bird actually is going to attack you while you do this, so you really need to have a lot of meat on your flying creature, on your PT, so you can regain health, right? So okay, the first kite didn't work. I'm now actually trying to get it inside by me staying still, and now trying to close the gate there and using my PT as decoy. But once I removed the PT, Argentavis also fled, right? So the trap is inefficient if you take a look at it. So I obviously need to do something to make it bulletproof. It is a bulletproof trap, but I just placed it wrongly this time. So eventually I was able to somehow trap it in there using my PT as a decoy, as I said earlier. I could have started to tame the bird like that, just leave the PT there so the bird can see it, and probably it would have worked. However, I know for a fact that it might not. So once you start the taming process, actually not the taming process, once you start tranking the animal, and if you fail, so the bird leaves, you won't be able to restart again, right, for quite a while, because you need to regain health and just after that you will be able to start ranking the tame again. So what I was considering is, okay, let's go home, let's pick another gate, come back. If the Argentavis is still there while we are doing this trip, then we'll start ranking it and taming it as it is. So I went back home, I picked up some base materials, so some foundations and some walls and stuff like that, because I wanted to create a little base for myself here in the mountains, because this is a very good area to actually try and trap mammoths, T-Rexes, and even woolly rhinos. I think it's the full name of the rhino in the game. So a very good spot for me to actually build a little base, a stone base. You'll see it's not a complete base, it just has basically 2 foundations, 2 walls, and 2 roofings, so I can actually place a bed in there. It's more like a hunting spot, if you will. So I'm gonna place a sleeping bag on top of the roof there. Also, I have a ladder with me. Actually, I think this is kind of the best way to create one of these temporary shelters. You'll have a little bit of protection from what could attack you on the ground, not necessarily, you know, a full thing to do. And while I was building, almost crashed the game. But second of all, the Argentavis that I was trying to trap just escaped the trap. So then I picked up the other gate and placed it in between the 2 gaping gates, let's call them, right? So this way the trap was complete, and I will be able to use it in the future to trap mammoths. I will be able to use it to trap rhinos. It's not gonna work for T-Rexes, obviously, for obvious reasons, but you will be able to use it for several other projects in the future in this area, which is a good thing, right? Although it was kind of time consuming, and it also was resource consuming to create a 4th gate, right? These gates are quite expensive. They take about 280 stones, if I remember correctly, a lot of wood, a lot of thatch. So you have to be careful, right? So now I'm circling this area again, looking for potential threats and also looking for my bird, trying to find it. I was afraid that maybe something killed it. There's another one spawned. It's a male, level 25. I need to kill it first and then attempt to trap the female again in the trap that I've created back there. In this area also you need to be careful. The nights can be quite cold and you start to freeze, so have a torch with you or a campfire if you do not have access to furs yet and stuff like that. All right, so I do have a Mastercraft torch with me, which is good enough. And again, the bird is just refusing to kite properly inside the trap. Also, I've noticed that there's also a little gap in there, but eventually, after a couple of attempts, I will be able to get the bird in the position that I want. The Argentavis is going to follow me directly from behind and in front of the gate, so I can actually sit down, move towards the gate while sitting down, because that's the best way to do it, the easiest way to do it. Open the gates inwards, get the bird trap in there, wait for a second, I actually left my PT there, and after that I just was able to do it. Okay, that's kind of it for trapping the beast. Now we want to tame it, and we want to tame it as fast as possible. So the best way to do it, after you have trapped it, obviously what you want to do is you want to let the day pass, sleep during the night, and then during the morning start to trank it. Okay, so this is the plan usually to do it. But you'll see that something has changed in the game. So sleeping in sleeping bags no longer drain the food from the tame. All right, so although I do sleep in the sleeping bag that I brought with me, when I trank it and I look into the inventory in the stats screen of the tame, it's unfortunate, but it still has a full food inventory, so that's not good. There you go. So that's it. That's kind of it. We're starting to tame it. We're starting to trank it, actually. We said, come on, it's time, let's do it. It can be a dangerous area. As I said, there's a T-Rex spawn point around here, so really need to be careful about that when you're trying to do it, okay? So, tranking it took about, I would like to say, 50 arrows to put it down. Maybe 60. Okay, looking at the number of arrows that I still have left there. And as you can see, and just in a moment, you'll see that it still has a full amount of food in the inventory. So that's going to take a while. So I just leave it to sleep, basically. And I'm going to take my PT and start hunting for big animals. Large creatures like broncos and I think I actually start hunting for some spinos, and I will get enough prime meat to get inside this creature and to tame it. Okay, so unfortunately, yeah, it's taking a while for it to drain the food. As you can see, it's not even under 100. It's a painful wait, if you will, but with prime meat, you can actually get it done in a day and a night in game, which means approximately 1 hour of gameplay, if I remember correctly. So you just have to play the patience game here, and if it doesn't work like I've explained it to you, to sleep and to drain the food, if that doesn't work, well, then you have to use prime meat, and you have to wait for it to drain before you start taming it, right? You need to at least to drain it for 500 to 600 food before you start actually the taming process, okay? So we have consumed pretty much all the prime meat that we were able to gather. We got it to 62.7%. Now we are going to go hunting again to get some more prime meat, but while I'm getting the prime meat, so the actual taming process doesn't drain down, I will use some regular old meat just to keep it, fed and the taming process still going. I will go and find more prime meat, and also I'm very careful around the trap while I'm in the area for nothing carnivorous to be spawned, because otherwise it will attack the trap and will kill the Argentavis. It's very important to be careful, okay? So look all over the place for any kind of threats that you might encounter in this area. You have a lot of them, including the Resinos. They can spawn here, T-Rexes, a bunch of stuff. Even a Dilfo, if a Dilfo comes and starts attacking the Argentavis while it's down, it's gonna take like 2 or 3 bites to kill it off, and all the effort goes down to drain, basically, right? So really need to be careful and kill everything that could hurt your tame around it. So in retrospective, it wasn't the best approach for the trap or the taming process. I could have done it with less materials and in a shorter period of time. However, it did tame. It went from level 95 to level 139 with decent stats. It can carry me and a lot of weight. It actually has a lot of stamina and a lot of HP. So I'm happy with it, but I'm still level 61, so I can't yet build a saddle for it. I will have to kite it towards my home, and I will also have to do a couple of repetitive tasks like resource gathering and hunting animals and stuff like that, just to get to the necessary level to be able to build the saddle for my new Argentavis, which is going to happen pretty soon. But meanwhile, at level 61, I was able to build another saddle for another one of my tames, which is very useful, and you need it in your taming, how should I say it? In your taming area, if you will, you need this tame, which is the giant beaver or Castoroides. And at level 61, you can build the saddle for that. So I'm going to do that, and we're gonna be just fine. So compare the stats between the PT and the Argentavis. There's no comparison. I worked on my PT a lot to get it there, but hey, yeah. So now I'm building the Castoroides saddle, the giant beaver saddle. I'm gonna create one. I'm going to actually be able to do a bunch of stuff with the giant beaver. I will be able to gather a lot of wood in a very short time. So that's going to give me something to do until I get the necessary level, right? So I have 3 of them, as you remember. I couldn't help myself. Obviously, I'll saddle up the biggest one, which is this level 139. Okay, it has a lot of weight, 500 weight, so that's enough for me to carry a lot of wood. The beaver has a lot of reduction when it comes to carrying wood. That's why he's the perfect creature to harvest wood with. You can harvest up to 1500 pieces of wood per each trip at 500 kilograms weight. All right, so 500 kilograms, is it that correct? Yeah, I think that's correct. So basically I'm just starting to clear up all the trees that I have in my area here next to my initial base. I'm gonna take all the wood that I can, get it loaded up on my raft, in my smithy, and also in my forges. And this is going to level up my giant beaver, but is also going to level up my character as well. Also, I will be able to get more experience by killing a lot of creatures using my my long neck, which does insane amount of damage for Ark Mobile. And I'm pretty happy with just doing that, you know. So as you can see, this trip I gathered 1300 wood, but I can go up to 1500 for each trip, although the giant beaver is going to get a little bit slower once I do that. But that's fine, doesn't have to be the speediest of them all, you know. So something spooked up all my creatures here. Probably a Dilfo spawned next to us or something like that, so I was able to actually get a level on the Argentavis because of that, which is cool, because yeah, I still need to increase the weight capacity, the health, and also the attack, right? I want a lot of melee attack on my Argentavis. Is going to be one of the main creatures that I'm going to use in the long run, so I needed to be able to protect me and obviously all my belongings when I'm out in the world, you know, looking for stuff. So yeah, getting a bunch of wood here. Again, I'm going to do this a couple of times. I don't know if I recorded everything. Hopefully not, because it's kind of boring. Also, the Castoroides is a pretty decent berry gatherer if you don't have anything else. at your disposal, but as I said, everything in this game, every year before that has a huge tail, is going to be better than one that doesn't have a huge tail and doesn't use it for harvesting stuff. So you're better off if you use either a stone gatherer or a metal gatherer or a Bronto or Stegosaurus. These are probably the best picks for you if you want to get a lot of berries in a short amount of time, right? So you'll need to think about that, right? So the Castoridis also is able to get thatch, not insane amounts, because it main focuses, I guess, on getting wood, but it's still a good thing, you know, for you to be able to get a little bit of thatch as well, because you will need thatch as well if you start building a lot of stone walls and stone foundations and stone related structures. So that's another good thing to do. I don't know why I have recorded this. I think I recorded it for you to see how hard it is to travel when you are overburdened, right? So that's why you need to be careful each time not to be overzealous and get a lot of things on the creature that you're riding. So another thing that I could have done here is unmount, signal to follow me, and go like that, right? So now I'm starting to use my long neck to hunt a bunch of creatures so I can actually level up. I just need one more level to level up, so I'm going to kill everything that's in sight. The bigger the better, right? Bigger level, bigger creatures. This Bronto is going to give me almost the full level that I need to get to the Argentavis saddle, which is at level 64 if I remember correctly on mobile. I don't know if it's the same. I don't remember if it's the same for the PC game as well. But I do believe it's 64 for mobile. That's why I was struggling so much to kill a lot of creatures. Yeah. Also, that's a sanded long neck rifle, and it's going to cost me about 1500 pieces of metal to repair it, which I think it's insane. The rates in Ark Mobile for some of these items, it's ridiculous. It simply is ridiculous because it's just a long neck. I mean, I understand it's a better one, right, than just the stock one, but still to pay 1500 pieces of metal just to repair it, it's ludicrous, you know. But still, I'm going to do it, of course, because it's a good weapon and I need it. I'm gonna need it in the future as well. I'm riding my Baryonyx because right now it has the most advantages when you're hunting, let's say. It runs pretty fast, it can swim pretty fast, and also has a jump command, which is pretty good. And also in the water it has that stun attack, which is again very good when you are surrounded by megalodons or you know, a lot of mantas and stuff like that. So yeah, killing this Bronto quite gave me a bunch of XP that I needed. As you can see, I'm level 61 right now. I'm harvesting mostly for the hide, because I kind of run out of hide because I've done a lot of builds, let's say, with the hide that I had. And I'm just going to keep the hides. I don't need anything else, and just carry on, you know, go further into the swamp, into the dangerous area, just to find more things that I can shoot down with the long neck. The bigger the level of the hunted creature, the bigger the experience reward you're getting. So yeah. Also, I need, of course, keratin and chitin. So yeah. That's again very good. I'm literally killing everything I can, so all right, level 62, and let's see if I'm there, you know. Yep, I'm there. So it's 62 for mobile. Yep, don't remember that. Sorry. I usually do not try to remember these things because I think it's redundant. You'll see it in the game anyways, so I don't know them by heart. Now I'm able to create the Argentavis saddle. I'm going to create it. It's going to take a little bit of while to actually do it. You need hide fiber and some chitin or keratin to do it. I was able to construct the stock one, right, the primitive one, but I also have a blueprint for a mastercraft one, which probably I'm going to you know, craft one of those, because it's going to give me 100 armor extra for the Argentavis, which is going to be just brilliant, you know. So now I'm taking it for a stroll through the night. It's always so much pleasant to ride an Argentavis than it is to ride the Pterodon. Not to say that the Pterodon is crap, but you know, this one can carry a lot more. I'm also doing the Find Explorer Note quests, so I can gain levels. I want to get it high as possible, maybe to level 200 if I can, to increase, as I said, the weight capacity, stamina, and health. These are 3 needs that you will need to work on for your Argentavis after you get it, so you can make it a very reliable companion. You're going to use it a lot, you're going to travel a lot on it, and you need it to be powerful enough to actually you know, help you in your quests, right? So I found one Explorer Note. This is going to give me 1 or 2 levels. I'm also going to use the 2 times XP gain by hunting a bunch of stuff on the nearby island. Okay, and I'm also force feeding the beast to get full health. It's useless to me if it has more health in the pool but doesn't have the HP to back it up, so force feeding is always the way to go, because you're gonna get a lot of meat on it anyways, so why not do it? I do believe here I'm looking at a Alpha Raptor somewhere, because this is a spawning point for Alpha Raptors. Good to know. There it is. It's not a huge level, but it's enough for me to actually be able to gain a couple of levels. I also have that 2 times XP gain from the Explorer Note. So fighting it off, in hindsight, I was a little bit afraid that the Alpha Raptor is going to jump me. It tends to do that, but eventually I was able to kill it. I got about 2 levels out of that, so that's cool. Actually 3 levels. So I'm going to increase melee damage and health. And obviously I'm got a lot of prime meat, so if you ever wanna tame something big like a T-Rex, go trap the T-Rex and then look for an Alpha Raptor while the T-Rex is trapped. You're not gonna lose basically anything. Bye!